Good morning. We are so glad that you join us today at the Unitarian Coastal Fellowship, especially, as we would say in Mississippi, because it has come a flood. It has come a flood. Ours is a pluralistic faith community, one that draws wisdom from many sources, the world's religions, as well as our own individual experiences of the divine and the holy, and a faith that chooses to come together in a covenantal community based on our shared values. I'm Laura, your worship leader today, without training wheels, so please excuse any flubs. A big thank you to our ushers. Susan and Dan today are on tech, our choir director, Karen Baggett, and our accompanist and today's speaker, Megan Smith. Do we have any visitors in the sanctuary today? And if so, would you please raise your hand? If you're comfortable, we would love for you to say hello this morning. All right, moving right along then. Oh, is there one? Wonderful. We're going to bring a microphone to you so that you can introduce yourself to our visitors on Zoom.
So this is our pretend microphone.
Perfect. Everybody hear me? Do I need to be in a certain spot to be seen? All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Mawadda. That's Mawadda with 2 Ds. Hello. I am originally from Syria. My mom is from North Carolina, so I'm half Syrian, half American. I grew up in Syria until I was about 14. Moved here, went to Croatan, so I'm sort of also from the area here. I live in Newport, and I have lots of different experience with different religions, so I figured this would be a great place for me to be. And I'm excited to see what I can do here and meet people.
Welcome. We're so glad that you decided to join us today. Now I'd love to have Susan. Could you tell us who's on Zoom this morning? If anyone.
Dave Patterson, Polly Rogers, and Mark. I'm going the wrong way. Okay, we have Dave Peterson, Polly Rogers, Margaret Newcomb, Terry Matheson, Craig Harms, Karen ready, and that is it.
Wonderful. Everybody say good morning to our visitors on Zoom. Good morning. We have a full house, full house. We have some announcements today. I'd love to have Helene come up and give some of those announcements.
Hi, everybody. I'm Helene. We have a couple announcements. First, UCF now has a little free library, which is located next to the deck in front of the Sally B. White Building. Thank you so much to Billy Kane. I'm sure a lot of you know Billy Kane. If not, he is the mastermind of the Beaufort Picture Show. And he helped donate the library to UCF, and to Bob Thomas, we thank for installing it. The library came with a box of children's books, which reflect our UU values, and is currently stocked with some of these books for children of all ages. Feel free to take one or more of the books and bring the books from your own stock that you don't need anymore. In the future, we can expand the choices to adult books as well. Okay, I have one more announcement, and it's about Helping Hands. Has anybody here heard about the program that we've started, Helping Hands? Miriam, Susan, Penny. Okay, so a lot of you are new to Helping Hands. So what is that? Helping Hands is a list of people who might be available to help others when special needs arise. Our pastoral care team gets word that someone might need a bit of help, and the Helping Hands program will make it easier and more efficient to get the help that people need. Just quickly, some examples of the types of things that have popped up: rides to appointments, meals in a crisis situation, telephone calls to somebody, who just wants some support. We've cleaned out a garage, help pack to move, and what's on the mind of some of us is potential help after a hurricane. So how does it work? The word usually comes to the minister or the pastoral care team. And if it comes from one of you, just relay it to the pastoral care team, which is me and Susan and Miriam and Joan Burton. An email then is sent from Breeze. Everybody know what Breeze is, right? Online. So an email goes to all the Helping Hand members, tells them a little bit about what the person would like or need, and then the Helping Hand member who thinks that they can help in the situation will respond via email, and I'll get that right now. We'll rotate who gets it, but it'll go to the pastoral care team. And then either if you're the helper, you can contact the person themselves, or we could facilitate that for you. So we want members. We figure a lot of you are going to want to be Helping Hands. So just let me know, or Miriam, or like I said, Joan or Susan. So thank you ahead of time.
Thank you, Helene. We have a bonus announcement today. We're going to have Mark come up and talk a little bit about our hurricane situation.
Yes, thank you. So you're all aware that this is the season for hurricanes, and there's one out there. So I know you have your homes to take care of, but we've got a big old house here that we need to look after too. So if you can help, possibly if you're nearby, we've got some things that we have to do. We're going to put down a barrier inside our doors to keep water from infiltration, things like that. Please see me after the service. Let me get your telephone number now, your cell phone. We can communicate that way. But It's good. We'll be prepared and we'll help out. And we have some items in there like tarps that we could use in the community as well. So thank you, and see me after church.
Thank you, Mark. Now, you may have noticed this morning that we have a special visitor in the church today. It is official. Minister Leslie Runnels started as UCF's new minister August 1st, and she is here with us today. Let's give her a huge UCF welcome. I'd love to welcome her up to just say hello and introduce herself.
Good morning, Unitarian Coastal Fellowship. It is so wonderful to finally see you from here. I've met many of you on Zoom over the months where we've been working together to get me here, and I've already attended a few meetings. I'm looking forward to getting to know each and every one of you, visitors and old-timers, and new people coming in, and young people growing up in here. It's going to be very exciting. And I am not at all seeing this hurricane as some kind of portent. It's not a thing, right? We've been through storms before, and new ministries sometimes bring some storms too, and we'll weather them together, yeah? We'll put the sandbags where we need to put the sandbags, and we'll have tea when we need to have tea. But I'm thrilled to be here. I'll see you all again soon.
Now we invite everyone in the sanctuary, please silence your cell phones. And if you're sitting near the chancel, please turn off your cell phone completely to avoid interference with the sound system. And all those on Zoom, please turn off your cameras to conserve bandwidth. Now, would everyone please turn and greet one another? I gave it a little extra oomph this morning since we needed to wake up. Our faith draws from the wisdom of many sources and also from our own individual experiences. Today we will turn to poetry, specifically the poetry of Hafiz. Hafiz was a Persian poet in the 1300s. He studied and memorized the Quran, and his poetry often expresses the divine inspiration of the mystical. Today we will consider his statement, "The words we speak become the house we live in." What are those words? What is the house? And what does it mean to live in those? Let us all repeat these words together. Come, let us worship together. I invite Minister Leslie to join us on the chancel and help light our chalice as I share our chalice lighting words for this morning, which are the Hafiz poem called, "I Have Learned So Much from God." I have learned so much from God that I can no longer call myself a Christian, a Hindu, a Muslim, a Buddhist, a Jew. The truth has shared so much of itself with me that I can no longer call myself a man, a woman, an angel, or even pure soul. Love has befriended Hafiz so completely, it has turned to ash and freed me of every concept and image my mind has ever known. And we also light our peace candle to remind ourselves that peace is a process that requires work, that peace is not merely an absence of conflict, but the presence of justice. Thank you, Minister Leslie. Please rise as you are able and willing and sing together, "Come, Come, Whoever You Are." This is hymn 188. Karen's going to join us and lead us.
Good morning. We'll sing this through twice, and then we'll start to sing it as a round, which we will do twice. So whichever part of the middle that you think you're on, when we get to the round part, which I will try and direct, this group will start, and when we get to 3, this group will start at 1, and Laura will be that second part. And you can sway if you want to. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, again, come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover, leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, again, come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Okay, we'll try it again. Whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Water, yes, can come, leaving, ours is no caravan, whoever you are. Water, yes, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan, lover despair. Water, yes, come, leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet come.
Officially the last time Karen ever trusts me to lead a round. Training wheels, training wheels. Now is our time for all ages. Would anyone young at heart please join us at the front? We have something to give you.
Yeah, we're not above bribery. Get up here. Okay. So guys, and everybody, have you ever heard the expression, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me? Okay. When I was a kid, a long time ago, a lot of people would say this to me and to other kids to help us feel better. Sometimes, like, especially if a kid had said something like that was kind of mean and hurt our feelings. However, I don't think this is true. I've found that there are many words in my life that have hurt much more than sticks or stones. Have you ever been hit by a stone or scratched by a stick? Tell us about it. Did it hurt? It hurts, okay. But in a few days, or it was really bad, maybe in a few weeks, you healed up, right? You got better. You look fine today. You look good. So when someone says something to you, though, that hurts your feelings, do you heal up in a few days or a few weeks? Depends, yeah. Sometimes, but sometimes the hurt stays with you for a long, long time. In fact, I could still remember someone in my 4th grade class picking on my outfit, and I went to 4th grade in 1989. So that was a long time ago. Today we're going to talk about how important words are, and I want you all to think specifically right now about the words that you say to yourselves. Just like other people can say mean things to you that can hurt you, you can say mean things to yourself that can hurt you. You should be nice to yourself as you are nice to others. So, how do we talk nicely to ourselves? Have you ever heard of a growth mindset? You guys go to White Oak, you might have. Okay, cool. Having a growth mindset means that even if you're not good at something now, you can get better at it in the future. Having a growth mindset means knowing you can grow. And there are certain things you can say that show that you have a growth mindset. Here are some of the things that you can say to yourself and about yourself anytime you need to say something to yourself. Now, those are kind of long. Are you guys able to read those to us? Miss Sarah, could you help? What does Riley say?
So Riley says, you are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream.
You are never too old to set another goal or to dream another dream. Okay, Riley, you get to keep that.
Aiden says, I am not perfect, and that's okay. I'm always learning and growing.
I am not perfect, and that's okay. I'm always learning and growing.
And Alan says, I am not limited by my past. I can always improve and grow.
I'm not limited by my past. I can always improve and grow. Okay, so the things you say to others and to yourself matter. Your words can hurt others or they can hurt yourself. Hopefully, though, you will use your words to grow yourself and others around you. And that is the time for all ages.
You can return to your seats now, kids. Every week, we make some space and time together to be human and to celebrate our joys and grieve our sorrows together. Should you wish to share a personal joy or concern about a person or persons in your life, there's paper to fill out and place in the basket on the way to the chalice. After our ritual, I will read these personal joys and concerns to the congregation. We will line up here along the wall under the triptych, and as it becomes your turn, you will select a stone or shells of any number to represent your joys and concerns from the basket and place them gently into the into the chalice of water. Megan will play the piano, and I invite you to our stones and water ritual. This first stone is a stone of blessing and one of welcome to our new minister, Leslie. We're so excited that you are here, and we look forward to celebrating your ordination in October. And this stone is for the uncertainty of a new hurricane season and the preparedness that goes along with it. We know that there are many in our community here at UCF, or perhaps in our larger community of Carteret County, who don't have the means to prepare at the same level that others do. That is a concern for us, and we pray that our community can come together to help everyone in the coming weeks and months, especially those of us who are from off and aren't used to preparing for hurricanes. We have many joys and concerns from our community today. Dorico shares that he has to move by September 1st and needs to rehouse 6 of his 7 cats. I know, that's sad for all of us. If you can help Dorico in any way, please reach out. We have a blessing from Roanne. She says that Xander called last Sunday, and they finally have his address, his complete address this time, for cards or letters to cheer him on. Xander's at boot camp, so it's exciting. All right. Helene shares that both of her granddaughters will be attending state college in 2 weeks. Maya is going to go to Appalachian State, and Rayleigh to UNC Charlotte. Congratulations. Wendy shares that her mother is recovering from surgery. Please keep her in your thoughts. You may have recognized Wendy's mother has attended sometimes with their family. John asks us to be in thoughtfulness and prayer that we remain a democracy after this next election. I think that's something that's weighing on all of our minds. Okay, Penny and Mark have a joy and a concern. They say, our daughter and her family have been here all week, and that is certainly a joy. If you follow Penny on Facebook, you will have seen lovely photos. And then Penny will also be having a foot surgery at Duke on Tuesday. Please hold her in love and light. We send you all the best wishes for a speedy recovery. And if we can do anything, let us know. Let's see. Melvin asks us to be in prayer for his neighbor, Gary, who is in the hospital here at Carteret. And we certainly will be in prayer for him. All right. By the light of this chalice, let us together take a moment to hold in our hearts all known to us and unknown who are struggling. For the sorrows and concerns shared here, may you feel our sympathy and our compassion. Take a moment to open our hearts to joy, ours or that of others known to us and unknown. We join you in celebration for all that remains unspoken today, both joy and sorrow. May the caring of our community offer you both kindness and hope. Now, if you will please join me in singing the children out to their classes with Miss Sarah. She's going to have to make a mad dash into the rain. It's a blessing you were born, and it matters what you do. What you know about God is a piece of the truth. Let the beauty of love be what you do, and you don't have to do it alone. It's a blessing I was born, and it matters what I do. What I know about God is a piece of the truth. Let the beauty of love be what I do, and I don't have to do it alone. It's a blessing we I'll never forget the first time attending UCF, and I hear Joan and Miriam in the back going cha-cha-cha, and I knew I'd found the right place to be. Yeah. I invite you into a moment of silence and meditation. For some, this might be the only moment of silence we feel like we have had this week. Please enjoy it while Megan plays.
Good morning. Hafiz, the poet, said, "The words we speak become the house we live in." Hafiz was a poet in Shiraz, near present-day Iran, in the 1300s. He was extremely famous in his day and still is. Today there are statues of him in Iran. There's an October 12th holiday in his honor, and his poetry is hung in people's homes, published online, and spread around the world. He's also the poet who wrote the words, "Even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, 'You owe me.'" And those words are in a song that we will listen to today, later. His words are extremely beautiful to me in their simple but profound language, so you can see why Hafiz was and still is revered for his poetry and for his wisdom. In fact, the word Hafiz is a title given to one who memorizes the Quran, and the name Hafiz is a holy name, meaning the one who protects or guards. Today I'm going to focus on Hafiz's statement, "The words we speak become the house we live in." Please say it with me. The words we speak become the house we live in. Think for a moment what you think those words mean to you right now. Do forgive me if you feel like an English student. That's what I do. When Hafiz says, "The words we speak become the house we live in," I think he could have meant a number of things. A, we have to live with the consequences of our words. B, if we speak our goals aloud in words, we're likely to obtain them. Or C, we start to feel like the words we are saying. Let's consider each of those meanings one at a time. We do have to live with the consequences of our words. Our words create a wake, and we do have to be aware of that. In this day and time, we are learning this lesson deeply and often, and sometimes regrettably. I try to take a moment, or even take a day or a week before we hit submit on that email or that social media post. We question ourselves, does my protest against war imply that I am anti-Semitic? Does my pro-choice stance come across as insensitive to those who believe that the embryonic and the fetal phases of a human being are sacred? Sometimes we feel like we can't win with our words, and we take a break from talking. There's indeed much sacredness to be found in silence, but that's a message for another day. Hafiz's statement definitely could be interpreted as a warning for us to be careful and mindful with our words. There's a limb of yoga called ahimsa, which can translate to mean no harm or even no nonviolence. Ahimsa seeks not to harm another being knowingly or unknowingly, with your actions or with your words. I have a tattoo of the word ahimsa to remind me of my daily practice of nonviolence. As some Jews wear prayer shawls on their bodies to remind them of the words of their good book, I wear the word ahimsa. I try to make the word take flesh within my own flesh. Do I fail? Daily. But I do try to do better next time. On the positive side of this idea of consequences, our words can help show our love and our beliefs. These are positive consequences to our words, and hence the reason we at UCF made a thoughtful choice to hang a progress flag and a Black Lives Matter flag. We wanted to say aloud what we believe. We wanted to show the community what we believe, and maybe too, how firmly we are committed to our beliefs. We believe all lives have inherent worth and dignity, and we acknowledge that our society and our culture sometimes says all, but does not mean all. Sometimes our culture says with liberty and justice for all, but gives no justice to a citizen who is Black or a citizen who is gay, queer, non-binary, or trans. So we wanted our belief to be very clear. We believe all lives have inherent worth and dignity, and we include Black lives and the lives of those of the LGBTQ+ community. My tattoo reminds me of one of the other meanings Hafiz might have meant too, when he said, and please say it again with me, "The words we speak become the house we live in." He could have meant that when you speak your goals aloud, you're more likely to attain them. For example, the more I say ahimsa and see it on my arm every day, the more I think of ahimsa in my daily interactions and thoughts. I'm more likely to attain ahimsa, although I don't foresee that I will ever attain ahimsa. Such practice reminds me of something called SMART goals. I became acquainted with the concept of SMART goals while teaching high school. I had learned and observed that my students who have interests outside of school perform better in school. So I wanted, and I still want, all my students to have personal goals to help them be more motivated in general, and maybe for this to have a trickle-down effect on their academics. Maybe. I was researching goal making and leading people to create goals, and I learned about SMART goals. SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. If your goals have these qualities, they are more likely to be realized. If students stuck to the model, they would likely attain their goals. Believe me, some of my students had a very hard time coming up with any idea for a goal, and maybe that's a sign of something going on with that student, and maybe SMART goals won't work for that student just yet. At any rate, it's hard for me to speak to the success of using SMART goals. I didn't implement it scientifically. I didn't track data in any way. I'm an English teacher yet. But I know that goal setting is something I would like to continue with my students, and it's something I'd like to learn more about on the guiding end. SMART goals just feel logical to me. Of course, it makes sense. First, you have to know what you want. Then you have to define it well and create measurable marks so you can tell when you've obtained the goal. Then you have to track your progress. It's undoubtedly not easy, but it seems like the right way, or a right way. It does seem like it could fit into what Hafiz said when he said, "The words we speak become the house we live in." Here, the house would be the attainment of your goal. Another meaning Hafiz may have intended when he said, say it again with me, please. I think this is the last time. The words we speak become the house we live in. He might have meant that we start to feel like the words that surround us. We take on the average sentiment of the words that we speak, read, listen to, watch, etc. Words affect our emotions and our psyche. You influence your own being with the words you allow to surround your ears and your thoughts. In a world that is full of news, real news and fake news, sensational headlines, social media posting reality and unreality, I believe that we all know how the words around us impact our lives. The American Psychological Association published an article in November of 2022 that reported many psychologists are seeing patients with news-related stress. They are naming this stress with terms like media saturation overload, doom scrolling, headline anxiety, I like that one, and headline stress disorder. Psychologists have also noted an association between the amount of exposure to news on social media and more depression and PTSD symptoms. While much more study needs to happen in order to clearly define these issues and determine correct treatment, for now, psychologists are suggesting actions like get involved in an organization or group that seems to be making positive changes in an area that might seem very negative and doomsday on your internet. The psychologist Don Grant recommends turning off all social media notifications on your phone, adding tech-free periods during your day, not having your phone at the dinner table, or, I like this one, or when you're waiting in line. You cannot entirely escape the media, and you cannot always control the words around you. But you can take some actions that can have positive effects on your psyche. You also influence your own being with your own words. Hence the reason you need to consider your self-talk, as we talked about in the Time for All Ages today. Are you saying things to yourself that are much meaner and more harmful than you would say to someone else? Sometimes I hear a student or one of my daughters say things like, I'm bad at reading, or I'm stupid. Those words have helped build that house. Those words will keep reinforcing that house. I try to encourage them to use other words, growth words, like, I'm practicing reading so I can get better at it, or I'm practicing cooking or running. I've given up on cooking. I've reached my max. Or another growth expression is, I have many strengths and abilities. A growth mindset creates a much more loving foundation for you to build on. Now we've talked about the 3 ways I suggested that we could interpret the Hafiz poem. I'd like to talk about one other one, though, that's more personal to me. I will start by sharing a verse from another text of wisdom. In the Bible, in John chapter 1, it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. I actually used to get chill bumps thinking about this philosophical concept of language being considered synonymous with the divine. I love the idea of words becoming flesh. In particular, I love the idea of a fabricated or made-up story later happening in real life, or maybe you'd call it an idea taking shape. I love the idea of speaking something into existence. In the Bible, in Genesis, God said, let there be light, and then there was light, because God said it in words. God said, let there be everything you can think of, and that's how everything is created in the Bible. Everything was created with words. I'm a writer. As such, of course, I love the idea of a written story later occurring in real life. I write stories and poems, I write lesson plans, letters of recommendation, a lot of those lately, project directions. I wrote one song. Once when I was in college minoring in creative writing, the acting students read mine and my classmates' scripts in a reader's theater. I heard real people reading the scripted words of my characters, and it was like those characters were real, like they stepped out of my head and into a body. I also heard the acting students talking about their reactions to my script. It ended up being an epiphany for me. My words created the germ of a character. My story stirred people's minds. My mind was blown. Many times in my life, I have jokingly tried to manifest other things, like I manifest stories. I've said, I wish I had $1 million, or I can visualize getting this job. I prayed too. I prayed with my head bowed to a God I thought might be there, and I prayed in my journal entries. However, these types of words did not get me the million. They did not get me the jobs. This was a conundrum for me because I'd been taught that certain things were right, other things were wrong. God was there. I was supposed to be reverent, submissive, and prayerful. I'd heard my spiritual guides many times praying for healing, for direction, for forgiveness. And for many reasons, none of it was really making sense to me, especially because things weren't always panning out for me. But praying had an interesting side effect. In praying, I formed some of the deepest feelings and knowings of my heart into words. I got to know myself in my prayers. And eventually, as I got to know myself more intimately, I started believing that I am enough. I am able. I am already a part of the divine just because I exist. In my words, I found what I'd initially set out to know when I started praying. There is something divine that holds me in its hand, that shelters me from darkness and danger. My shelter, my house, me, I am made of words, and some of them are my own. Just as it's said that the Word became flesh, my words have become a shelter, my home. My words let me know that it's allowed that I have my own beliefs as my foundation. My words grew doorways open to new views. My words filled the house with space that thrummed, and my words peeked out to wildflowers in the garden. My words told me I was not born with sin, but instead I was born innocently ignorant with the ability to grow in love. This was my spiritual journey. And actually, Hafiz was with me sometimes. I have read a lot of his poetry in my life. So it is that words hold much power. They can bring positive and negative consequences to us. They can help us attain our goals. They can sway our own psyche. Words can be the elements that cause us to say harmful words about ourselves or others. Words can cause us to say loving words about ourselves or others too. Words can help you shape your own world. What is the world of your heart or your soul or your mind? What do you believe? What do you know? One of the tenets of Unitarian Universalism that I love is that we openly commit to allowing each person to find their own spiritual path. In UUism, I've learned to embrace how my life experiences and my vantage point shape my beliefs and ideas. Indeed, this kind of freedom has allowed me to grow more spiritually in these last 5 years since I've been at UCF than I feel like I did all the time before that. I love Hafiz because his poems point out the infinite layers of mystery or divinity that exist behind seemingly simple concepts. I love that one of his poems, the one from today, points out that words can create many layered structures, like houses or identities. I love even more that I got to think about all the ways that words have figured in my own life. If something from my words today has resonated with you, I'm honored. Thank you for allowing me this bit of a poetry lesson. And I would say namaste to you, which means I bow to the divine in you. Would you please remain seated and listen to the singing group called BYU Women's Chorus as they sing The Sun Never Says. And the words of this song are a poem by Hafiz, and the music is by Dan Forrest. Even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, you owe me. With a love like that, we can light the whole sky.
Thank you, Megan. That was wonderful. Each month, the Social Justice Committee selects a nonprofit to share the plate with UCF. All non-pledged contributions in the collection plate or online are split between the nonprofit and UCF. For the month of August, we will share the plate with the Carteret Literacy Council. Debbie Dillon, Literary Activities Director, and Frank Galizia, VP of the Council's Board of Trustees, are here to tell us a little bit about the work of the Council. Please give as generously as you are able to support this worthwhile cause. I'd like to invite Debbie up.
First of all, thank you for inviting us, or Frank couldn't be here, I guess, but thank you for having me here today. I have enjoyed your service. Oh, you can't hear me? Okay. Once again, thank you for having me here and for the service has been wonderful. I appreciate that. I don't know if you're familiar with the Carteret Literacy Council, but we've been here since 1984. I've been here with the group for about a year. The woman who ran it for 25 years passed away. It became kind of a non-existent. And after all that time, we just revamped it, and we've been going out and talking to different people. We have a lot of interest from tutors right now, from retired teachers, which is nice, and we're looking for students. Our services are free. So we match up a tutor with a student. The curriculum is provided for them. They can meet either at our office, which is on Bridges Street, or some churches have offered up their places of, they have offices or rooms, and libraries, the senior center. We ask that people don't go into each other's homes. It makes it a little bit easier. It's a one-on-one. We have ESL, we offer ESL and GED studies. So right now, we know that illiteracy is prevalent in certain areas, and it's associated with poverty a lot of times. So we have some wonderful success stories of people who have come into the program. They've become citizens. They are running businesses in the area. We are working with some people who just came in from Venezuela, a family. He was a civil engineer, and she was an attorney there, but they came here to our area for asylum. They unexpectedly they have two wonderful boys and had a baby boy when they got here, and they were sponsored by a family, so there's been no outside financial help from the government. He has a job and now is giving back to the Literacy Council, helping people who don't speak English. So it's a fabulous, fabulous story. The children are 10 and 12. They're now speaking English, and so is the wife. So we're just thrilled about that. We have some people who have come in, different ones. We have a woman, and it's all confidential. We don't have names, but when you think of a 47-year-old woman who came in because she wanted to get her GED, because her grandmother at 65 got hers. Now, that is huge, because it's hard to go in and ask for help. We know that. So what we need right now, we need more students. We need some contributions to help support the program. I work there as far as, I volunteer a lot because I tutor, but I work there part-time, and everything else is run by the board of directors. And another thing that we found is people who, children are learning English in school, but a lot of the parents are not, they're scared, I think. So they're connected to their culture, and they find niches where they can go to work, and that's where, that stays. So we're reaching out to employers who want their employees to learn English, where we would come in and help out. It can be in a group or individually. We're now we just set up with Brookdale Senior Center, or I think it's a nursing home, I believe, or Brookdale, where we're going in and going to be reading with to some of the residents there. That was something that a lot of the residents don't have families. So anything to do with literacy that we can help with, and math studies. Our newest program that we're working on is digital and workplace literacy. We just got some laptops. We're setting up for people to learn how to write their resumes, learn how to use a computer, what is email, and so we're expanding into that program too. So we certainly appreciate all the time that you've given us today, and I've left some information if you're interested in the other room by the TV. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Debbie, for joining us today. We're excited to support the Carteret Literacy Council. I invite the greeters forward to collect today's offering. Please join in blessing this offering with hymn number 402, From You I Receive. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. Now, please join me in reading our chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And now in Español. Extinguimos esta llama, pero no la luz de la verdad, el calor de comunidad, o fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos nos llevaremos en el corazón hasta que estemos juntos otra vez. Now please stand as you are able and willing for our closing hymn, number 391, Voice Still and Small.
We'll sing it through twice. Voice still and small, deep inside all, I hear you call, singing in storm and rain, sorrow and pain, still will remain, singing, calming my fears, quenching my tears, through all the years, singing, for still and small, deep inside all, I hear you call, singing, in storm and rain, sorrow and pain, still will remain, singing.
a delayed response.
We're trying new things today. For the benediction, it is UCF tradition to hold hands and form an amoeba, a circle. However, if you prefer not to hold hands, remain in the center of our amoeba circle, and we will surround you with presence and love. We will end our worship service today with almost there. Sandra's running. Oh, that's beautiful. Excellent work, guys. We will end our worship service today with more words from, you guessed it, Hafiz. I wish I could show you, when you are lonely or in darkness, the astonishing light of your own being. May it be so. Amen.
Yeah, they've been charging me way